What's happening? Of course, you know it's your boy B-Hop Radio Shout In. Stepping in the building, I got a guy that is a serial entrepreneur. I mean, he has a family that he takes care of to the max, and that's one of the forefront things that we're going to talk about today. Business and everything else. I'm talking about Derrick Grace. What's good with it, boss?
Appreciate it, bro. Happy to be here.
Hey, man, happy to have you. Now, Derrick, the family business, man. I mean, talk to me about getting the fam in business.
I got you. So, bro, what I want to say first is before anybody take it lightly, it can be a struggle sometimes. It is a challenge to enlighten your people, especially the ones closest to you. Mm-hmm. I know people watching it's typically the people close to you that knock you down first before the world even get a chance to. Period.
Come on.
So, it takes some time, but bro, one thing I've come to learn is that when you walk into your light and you're an example of what you're teaching and speaking, people are gonna be attracted to it.
That's right.
So initially, when I presented ideas to people in the family, I've been entrepreneur since 2012. So since then, a lot of people was either clowning or he crazy or he tripping.
Of course.
But now that the results are more, prevalent than ever, conversation a lot more easier. And two, just understanding that a lot of our people come from a place of traditionalism where entrepreneurship wasn't even an option.
Facts.
So sometimes we may get annoyed with the family or anger, but we got to be a little more patient with them because they function with a whole different level of wiring based off what we function with.
Unlearning to relearn, though, absolutely. Derrick. I mean, what were some of the things that you had to unlearn and trying to get your family to unlearn at the same time?
I mean, bro, I could name a lot, but from the workload to investing to even down to the diet, I don't really bump heads with my grandmas before they both in their 70s about I'm not eating that vegan, blah blah blah. Nah, we gonna stick to this, but. Even to the investments, bro, whether it be real estate, whether it was product or services, anything I was doing, I know one of the biggest things myself and my people had to unlearn is value, because a lot of us don't understand value. So, I mean, it's common nature. We just tend to devalue ourselves our entire life. Yeah. You feel me? We've been taught that we must go through somebody else to get to wherever the exit strategy or the overall win at. So when you function with people with that type of mentality, it's really hard sometimes to get them to just believe in themselves, let alone the vision. So. And two, just going back to that patience, because you got to think about, if I don't value myself enough to pour what I need into it, how you think I'm going to value this message you're trying to give me right now about, as a family, how we could do it? So it took a minute, bro, but, it's all is well now. All my siblings on the payroll.
Come on.
Me and my pop's business partners, we co-own a gun store.
That's hard.
He run the security as well. He retired Secret Service, so that's his world.
Oh, that's cold-blooded.
Mom's was a teacher, so I retired her in 2018, and now she's more so just I wouldn't say a nanny, but she teach her grandchildren Monday through Friday, so that's her job.
Exactly.
And the family and the team. But yeah, bro, the biggest thing is just assessing our strengths and our weaknesses as a team and figuring out how we can break bread amongst each other to push one another forward rather than outsourcing.
2012, what was it that went through your mind that made you say, you know what, it's time for me to get my entrepreneurship going?
Yeah, right. Well, at first I got suspended indefinitely, which was 4 months of no pay. And when it's indefinite, they could just dangle you out there till they ready to be come back. Yeah. But anyway, they dangled that for a whole 4 months just to fire me that following February, which is 2012.
My God.
So
bro, been there.
Yeah, bro. So from now, just I'm never gonna let nobody have that type of control again. Bro's a roller. It was an emotional and financial roller coaster. You working every day man, hopefully I get to go back today. Then that first month go by, and you well, damn, that's 30 days. Yeah, what's going on? Then they finally was yeah, come in. Came in. And just fired me on the spot. But from there, bro, I knew from there I'd never do that again. Because I tell you all the time, we don't understand how much control these entities have over our life until they take it back.
Exactly.
And that's when you're going to realize, oh, okay, I can't afford that burger I used to eat. I can't afford to travel to Auntie house. I can't afford them shoes.
Exactly. What was it like when you started your businesses and you started to realize that there was no cap on the money that you could make? Because, see, at that job, they would tell you what they going to pay you. Now you telling yourself what you about to make.
Right, for me, bro. So look, I'm not even gonna lie to you. In the first year of entrepreneurship, I ain't realize that. Cause it took me 9 months to get my first transaction. Nobody bought nothing from me for 9 whole months.
Okay, see, we gotta sit down. We gotta sit down.
Anyway.
Them 9 months, Derrick, staying down through them 9 months of nobody doing no kind of transactions with you. What the hell kept you there for 9 months?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. One of the biggest things that kept me there is just knowing I have children. Mm-hmm. So I can fold and I can go back to the position I was in before where somebody could just snatch our opportunity, or I could just stay put right here and figure out how we can create our own opportunities.
Yeah.
And then too, bro, I intentionally tatted my face in February 2012 to create the detachment from corporate. So I ain't gonna lie, bro, I couldn't quit if I wanted to. I couldn't quit if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I probably would have got a job, but ain't no. I don't know who would have hired me.
Yeah.
I ain't have as many as I have now, but back then, like I definitely had like 8 or 10.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get no job, but that was intentional though.
Exactly.
So like, I still struggle with procrastination. So I'm just one of the people that perform well under pressure, and that's what I need. I needed that pressure.
When you got that first sale after them 9 months had passed, man, what was that like for you, and how did that motivate you going forward?
Bro, that was major. I remember I had a Yahoo dashboard website back. Like people don't even use Yahoo no more than business websites, but it was major, bro, for the simple fact that, excuse me, I figured out how to do something on my own. So it was a milestone. It took forever. That was a long time, but it was a milestone for me. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I really just started assessing how I made that first sale and really recreated that formula. Like I literally still use that formula to this day in marketing.
My God.
In a whole nother industry with literature, classes, courses, this and that. But that it really was a defining moment because 9 years later, I still utilize those same steps to make millions of dollars in retail.
But how did you stumble upon those steps? Were you just always a marketing hustling mastermind, or what was that?
I wouldn't get in front of the camera for like the first year of business, maybe 2 years. Like I'm not a camera. I am now. Like it's easy to throw a camera in, and I go in. But back then, nah, bro. Like if I started with a retail business when I got entrepreneurship, but my YouTube's still up. It was a Millie Bound, AMILLIBOUND.
Oh, that's called
I never showed my face.
A Millie Bound. Yeah. Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nah, bro. I ain't show my face for like probably like 3-4 years of business.
When was that point that you realized that this was something that you could use to take care of your family and have a stable source of income coming in, though, man? How long did it take after them 9 months for it to hit and take care of things?
By the time year 2 came. So year 1, I only made 23 grand, which that was my new, but I was still proud. Like I made 23 on
Come
my
on.
own. But by the next year, I had scaled up to like 183. And I knew then, I was like, oh yeah, we straight. We straight. I can pay the bills and I got a couple dollars.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we straight. But I started in 2012. By the time 2016 hit, it was up around like a $500,000 a year business. Mm-hmm. But 2016 is when I transitioned into literature, books, and I became a best-selling author in 2016. And I started realizing like you can get $1 million off one book. Yeah.
Break down the content aspect of it, because see, that's one of the things that I've been telling people a lot lately. In the future, really in the present that we're living in right now, if you have a business, there's no sense in you not having a content wing of your business, because that marketing that you would spend, you can create that and actually generate money from the marketing of your doggone business.
Absolutely.
So break that down to me. When was it that clicked and you said, okay, let me go ahead and get into this marketing of my business and getting busy?
2016. I posted a video. I had already posted 4 times. It was the 5th time. I remember it was the eve of my daughter's birthday. Yeah. June 8th. And I laid down and I was just like, let me just throw something up before I go to bed. Posted this video for this same video. It was a video of me and my children, my 2 oldest, just going over entrepreneurship, teaching XYZ and money. And bro, I woke up and I had 64,000 followers. I went from 2,000 to 64,000 in my sleep. And bro, I had at least, I think I had to have like 400, and my DMs was going crazy. I had all type of calls, and then somebody hit me and was like, I didn't even know who bro was. He got my number off the internet off my old YouTube videos, and he's like, bro, you viral. And I was like, shit, what's viral? I didn't know what viral was. Yeah. He was like, that's when you put something out on the internet and it blow up and da-da-da. And bro, nothing been the same since then. So that's when I really started realizing, like, content-wise, in terms of my videos, how to really create a strategy that's going to make people move, convert them to buy, or share it a gazillion times.
So now the money is coming in, Derrick. How did you go about trying to figure out how to diversify that portfolio? Because you see the money coming in now. You're thinking, okay, I got a good stream coming in this thing, right. But now you don't want that money just sitting around looking crazy.
Oh, no, it's definitely don't want to just sit in the bank and they making interest off of it. So, but really, when I started diversifying, that was a couple years after. That would have been like more like 2017, 18. That's when I really started employing a team. So like one of the biggest things I ever did was hired a project manager. So he oversee all my business overseas, and that's how we able to do our own independent board games. My robots, probably 70% of my business he responsible for because he connected in other countries. So
yeah,
in terms of diversifying, bro, what I did especially in 2020 is I just started assessing where I saw our society or culture slipping at. And I already had books, curriculums, courses, flashcards, classes, all type of stuff. But that's when I went with Grace Botics, my artificial intelligence company, and to me, COVID just made sense for them to start employing robots even more. It makes sense, let's humans are sick, cool, let's do this. So I'm like, well, let's get ahead of that. So I made my investment in artificial intelligence 2019. I started getting the robo dogs. Now I got my own line of robots, and then from there, the same thing, just staying ahead. What really did it was Fortnite. I saw the madness Fortnite came with, and I hit my project manager. I was like, bro, we should take the board game and turn it into a video game. So now this fall, that'll be dropping on PS5, Xbox, and PC. But that's $1 billion industry. I want some of that.
Exactly, come on!
And video games, they apply no matter what generation you in. You feel me?
Yeah.
The old heads to the youngins to the 30s, 20s, down to the babies. They all like video games. So with that move, I also was paying attention to that the country has slowed down a lot in terms of schools being open, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, damn, whoever got games right now getting to that bag.
Facts.
Countless adults and children in the crib right now that need something to be entertained.
That's right.
So we started doing that. But, bro, even to the trucking company, bro, I really just try to identify where voids are at. And I tell everybody, if you can solve a problem, you're going to eat your entire life.
For that guy that sees where you are now, because see, that's the issue, Derrick. Everybody see you out here getting busy, and they want to fast forward to where you are now.
But I get that every day.
You see what I'm saying? But you feel me? It's you can't fast forward to where I'm at right now. Okay, that's why I can give you the game so easily because I know what it took to get here.
Right.
Okay, so you telling me first you had to wait 4 months to realize that you weren't getting your job back.
Another 9.
Another 9 months to make your first sale. $23,000 that first year. So now, we got some time that's spanning right here, and there's some staying down going on around this time.
Yeah.
What do you tell that young man or young woman that's in that space right now? What do they need to be doing and focusing on so they can get to that 180 year?
I got you, bro. Number one, I would tell them, try to move cost efficient with the business. Every business typically gonna start in the red. So it's best that you try to make the mechanics of the business as cost efficient as possible, from whether you're making t-shirts, whether it's bartering, whatever you need to do, try to keep as much bread in as you can so you can continue to reinvest. I will also tell them they need to allocate funds for a marketing budget. People don't take marketing serious. They just be like, I'm gonna post this 30 times this year and everybody gonna buy. No, everybody not gonna buy your stuff. So set a budget, allocate funds to the side to really make sure that that machine is being ran even when you don't want to run it. Like I say with artists every day, they'll have 100,000 on them in the video, but the video look like they poured maybe $800 into the budget.
Come on.
Yeah, you feel me? Marketing and branding matter. So I would tell them that. I would tell them consistency. That's a huge one because a lot of I mean people every day the business will boom for the first month and month 2 no sales and they give it up and they just it wasn't for me. Consistency play a major role. You got to grind when you not getting it like you are getting it.
Exactly.
To me, that's what developed character too for people who really got the longevity. And lastly, bro, I would tell them what would be the last one I would tell them? Identify what differentiates your products or your services or your brand. Where I feel like a lot of people slip at, especially in the entertainment world, is they all look alike. And it's hard to really harness the proper energy so that you could draw the line in the sand and stand alone if you're moving and functioning like everybody else.
Exactly.
So for me, I'm going to market my strong suits and what differentiate my brand. If we all talking about financial literacy, then we just a bunch of dudes talking about financial literacy. But if I'm standing with a 9-year-old that could talk it just as well as I could talk it, now we hitting different. We moving different. That's a whole nother realm. So hone in on what differentiate your brand, your products, or your services from everybody else, and market those.
When it comes to marketing, because like you said, that is a necessary evil that nobody wants to spend money on.
Right.
But can you explain exactly why you need to spend money on marketing and why is it so imperative in building that business up into $1 million business?
Right. super important to spend on marketing for the simple fact that the other people in your industry probably are.
Yeah.
So like, especially if you got a smaller following, you're gonna need some type of backing to even war with these people. And when I say war, I don't necessarily mean compete, but if you want some of that revenue share in there, like you better make yourself count.
Come on now.
So to me, number one, when you spending money on marketing, that machine gonna run without you. So even when you can't process the idea, you busy, you sleep, whatever you doing, your marketing dollars are moving for you. Number two, just the exposure and the access it allows alone, because y'all one little sidebar, make sure y'all studying these social platforms. People don't understand algorithms, people don't understand sponsor ads. It's a lot they don't understand. So to them, like marketing ain't even necessary. But they don't realize like trillions are being moved per day. All day, like billions being moved right now, like literally in this millisecond as we speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, you better get out there and get you some of that money. Like, y'all, the internet is it's booming. It's booming at an all new level, especially with COVID. So I urge anybody to definitely put some bread to the side. Like, I know you want to look like you winning already. Focus on actually winning though. You feel me? Like, pour some bread into the mechanics, and creating a system is super important, because so many people trying to rewrite the wheel. You really don't have to. Like, if you got a working formula, just keep working your formula.
Facts.
So, Mark, man, I can go out there about marketing, but studying your analytics, getting your projections, seeing what time your clicks are booming, seeing what type of demographic, age demographic, sex, what country, what nation, all that matters.
Exactly. When it came to your business and you starting to get it up and running early on, what was the biggest lessons that you had to learn? Because, see, that's the other thing that's beautiful about your situation, Derrick. You went and bumped your head so everybody else ain't got to bump theirs. So at what point did you bump your head and you like, ow?
Out the gate.
Come on.
Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes I made with the retail business is I took like my last $600 and went and got a bunch of shirts made. Overlooking the fact I could just hit a graphic designer, hit him with $200. He gonna make 20 mock-ups with t-shirts that look cleaner than the picture I'm gonna take on the floor of my crib anyway. I then do a pre-order. Go collect the bread on the front end, pay myself, pay my production, and everybody happy. So I think a lot of people slip with that too. I know I did at the gate. I was just super excited. I'm like, yeah, let me go invest in myself. And I'm like, man, bro, you could have done all that for $400 less. Now you broke, and now you got the pressure of trying to push the product now. While you broke trying to make back what you put in the game already. Facts.
Urgency, scarcity, and incentives, man.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me. You came to work today.
That's a formula I use that has like netted me like a whole lot of bread.
I understand.
But what I tell everybody, right, is like that formula is a recipe for a beautiful storm. And so basically, right, you create the incentive by. Well, I'm just giving you a real example. So I know, like, right now, I got a sale going on. They can get the adult pandemic pack and the junior pandemic pack, which was for the adults and the children.
That's hard.
And you can use the discount code MOM, because it was just Mother's Day to get 50% off.
Come on.
But we only got 500 of them left, because we started with 1,000. We got 500 bundles left. So the incentive is jump on it now, use that discount code to try the price in half. The urgency is they gonna run out soon, because bro only working with 1,000. He got over 1 million followers.
That's right.
Collectively, or probably like 2 million. And then the scarcity is he keep telling me he got less than 500, and the video just got 30,000 views itself. So it's a good chance that 500 might be gone any day now. You know, and then from there I just sit back and just let the phone.
I don't even know if folks gonna hear what you just said. I hope y'all heard what this man just said, because he just literally showed you how to make $1 million.
No, for real, like y'all could go to my page and listen to what I just said and play them videos. You'll see it work out in real time. Now it's more that I go with it, but that's like my top 3.
What was that tipping point for you that allowed you to get from them 6 figures to them 7s?
It was in 20. It was right at the top of 2020, and that's when I really started learning about creating systems. So what happened to me with most entrepreneurs is we have special days where we boom or we go crazy. But we don't really assess those days, break the information down, and just redo it. That's why I'm telling everybody, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So when I noticed, like, I think one of my best days in 2020 was like, I know I ain't gonna lie. Before I sat down with Tip and did the interview, I was averaging like 30. After I sat with Tip, my averages went from like 50 to 70,000 a day for like 20 days straight, and I was like, oh, okay, so I ain't gonna lie, bro. It was a learning moment for me. Cause I'm like, I got the formula to get me 30 a day.
Yeah.
But if I do a little press here and
exactly,
I could get 70 a day.
Come on.
So that, but in 2020 though, that was one of like the biggest days. Like early January, I hit for like 38,000 in a day, and I was like, okay, we really can get $1 million a month. We just gotta look at what we doing now, assess it, and just keep repeating.
How did your perception of money change once it was not a factor in your decision making anymore?
So, bro, I still had a perception I want a lot of it, but it's really for my children though.
Okay.
'Cause I'm super cool. Like, I wear a $5 t-shirt. I mean, this jacket's Supreme, but this was just something I do rarely. Like, I don't buy stuff like that, but
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, bro, it's a necessity for sure for the system that we live in, but it comes in abundance. So I look at money now like it's not a challenge. Like work is required to make it, but my basically like I used to function from a scarcity perspective, like most of us do. Like, man, I can't spend 100,000. How am I gonna get that back?
Yeah.
But now I look at it like, if it's a good investment, let's spend $1 million. Like we'll just come up with a plan and we'll get it right back.
What was it that got you to that point to where you had the confidence to invest into yourself? Because, see, people want to put in the sweat equity, but then they don't want to put in that money equity now.
Right. No, they want to hit and then just ride off to the sunset. Like, no. You got to throw some of that back in there.
Come on now.
Bro, really the biggest key factor to that is just my children. Just knowing, like, I'm existing for something bigger than me. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's cool if you balling in your 30s, but like, you know, your children typically gonna supersede your 30s.
Yeah.
What about them? Or you just gonna ball for this generation and then they resort back to the struggle?
Yeah.
So it was that, and then my biggest purchase to date was my house. Mm-hmm. But it worked out perfect because it was some pressure on me to get the house, but a house is like a noble expense. Yeah. It wasn't like a Bugatti or something. Yeah. So it really was a lot easier just to go ahead and spend it. And then too, like when my man broke down like equity and how I could really utilize the house to do other things, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like we just gonna store our millions in homes rather than the banks.
Come on.
So, but no, I ain't gonna lie. At first though, it was times where I might spend 100,000 and like that hurt my heart. I was sad that night. And it was for good stuff. It was for business. And I still just like, damn, I don't want to pay for my responsibilities.
I feel you.
But no, these days I'm just like, if we got to do it, let's knock it out. And then we're gonna put more energy into getting it back than we're gonna be sad about having to spend it in the first place.
The family unit. How do you juggle work and life at the same time, Derrick?
Bro, I got a hell of a team.
Talk to me.
So shout out to my team, because the beauty of a team is like you can't really copy yourself, but you can pour into other people what you know, so they can become like extensions of you. Yeah. So that's what I did over like the last 2 years. So I'm really like, I had COVID in January, and I took 3 weeks off. And granted, I like $1 million a month, but the team still went and did like 430, and I was proud as hell to be like, I wasn't even there, and y'all still did 430. Like, so that's been the biggest thing, bro. Just being able to balance the family is number one, having a hell of a team, and two, practicing inclusion. So we do the type of stuff where we mobbing together, where it's work related or fun. Like we coming as a package, we pulling up together. So it feel like work at times, but it really don't, because we still clowning and kicking it with the children all the while.
Surviving COVID. Mm-hmm. What was going through your mind when you came down with it? And then how did your mind change after making it through it?
No, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's a good question. Bro, it's the first time I done dealt with some interesting things. The first time I thought I was gonna die though, for real. I remember like, it had to be like 3 days. I couldn't even talk.
Oh my God.
I remember one time I was just in so much pain. I couldn't talk again. I just was sitting there crying, but couldn't. My mama sitting over me trying to figure out. I mean, she know I got COVID, but my body was just like, that shit just gave up on me. Like he just left me, and I'm just in the bed like, hey. But
my God,
no, bro, that was a terrible experience. I ain't eat. I know like 8 of those days I ain't even eat. Yeah, I was drinking, but I ain't eat. I couldn't even eat nothing. But changing my mindset after that, bro. I hit my lawyer not too long after that, and I started working on my succession paperwork. And I already had a trust with just making sure everything in line, because it really just showed me like, which I already knew this, but it was just another reminder like, bro, like she could catch you at any moment. You having your best day, then tomorrow just like, so I think you might die. And bro, I even remember going to the hospital, and bro, it was a weird experience. Just I felt terrible for the people who didn't have family support, because they really put you in a room solo, and you just sitting there like, Bro, I mean, they just laying on the bed like, damn, I only hear humans talking. Like, where everybody at? But it was it definitely was a learning lesson too for me to just tighten up and go even harder and make sure my paperwork in order. Cause even to the entrepreneurs, the people who own assets, period, they don't think about, being incapacitated. That count too. You could be in a vegetative state. It's so much that can go on with our health at any moment.
Yeah.
And then your family and what's that court called? I can't even remember the name of that court, but
civil. Yeah,
civil, but not in there fighting for your belongings and beefing one another. Yeah.
Establishing positions for family members and just people in general. Do you hire outside the family, or how you go about building a team?
So quite a few things like my garden. I got a gardener. Shout out to Makai at Freehaven Farms. He'll fly out to Florida.
Yeah.
And help Chelsea with certain stuff out there. I got a chef that assists us too, but. Nah, bro. Like with the positioning, it's really just a matter of assessing what each other's strengths and weaknesses is, and like putting that ego to the side enough to be like, well, you lead here, and then I'm gonna lead over here. So like, in my situation, financially, I'm here with that. Mm-hmm. I'm far ahead, but she's better with organic stuff. She better with, we ain't gotta get no medicine out the store. I got a remedy for that. She'll get out there on her hands and feet in the garden and make sure we can actually eat off our land.
Yeah.
I don't do that part. So that's where and again, moving that ego, like that's when I know to pull back and let her lead. She gonna be the big dog.
That's right.
And when we going in this direction, I'm gonna be the big, even down to the children. Like it's certain responsibilities I know I'm not asking that child for because that ain't your line of work.
Yeah.
But your sister, she'll knock it out with no problem.
Answer me this. You said your daddy was a Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
What was that like growing up with somebody that was that doggone military minded?
But no, the thing, he wasn't military minded at all.
Talk to me. Shoot.
It's funny though, bro, because everybody do think that to the meeting and be like, oh, okay. But nah, bro, really, when it comes to that world and the information, bro, he gave me more game than anything.
Exactly.
He just teaching me how the game go, teaching me how they function, what type of stuff they identify with, like whether it be from the IRS to regular law enforcement to the amendments. He just gave me a bunch of game and connected me with a lot of people that provide us with opportunities that people usually ain't able to get. So, nah, bro, he really was super laid back, super cool, super chill. Like my mama was way more. My pa was with me twice my whole life. Like we was that type of relationship. Like we just talk about it and be like, all right, you tripping, cool, stop tripping. My mama she was more turned up than my pa. So.
Exactly.
And she was a sweet school teacher. But yeah.
What did mama say when you said, "Mama, sit down"?
Bro, she said no.
Oh, mama!
No lie, bro. She said no. Me and her bumped heads about that for like 4 months because she kept complaining. I'm like, she was scared though. That's why I say like I took offense to it, but these days I got a better understanding. Like
that tradition,
bro. You wired different.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's gonna take some work for her to really understand. Even like, so I retired in 2018. It took 4 months. She finally went for it. I gave her an advance just so she could know it was real.
It was there.
Like, I gave her some envelopes with bread in them. Like, all right, take it, walk away. Like we straight. And then just last year, I had bought her a crib on the same street as mine, and even with that, like the crib was $800. She was just like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Mom, sure." 30 more times. "You sure?" I'm like, "Mom, sure. I got it. I can handle it." "Babe, but that's a lot." But I had to remember, like our perspective on money is different.
Yeah,
800 is a lot, but I still function with the mindset that like it come in abundance. It's everywhere, Mom. And she functioned from the place like, man, you spent 800. I don't know if people see that type of money again, but not the people who want to see it. They'll figure out how to see it.
In this digital world too, because the timing of your life is impeccable when it comes to being able to span the globe and get that bag at the same time.
Right.
Can you break down the realities of the digital money? Because the traditional family members, they're thinking, okay, hand-to-hand combat, you sell it out the store, you set up like brick and mortar and stuff like that. So how do you get people to understand that there's money in this digital world, there's money in thoughts, there's money in content, there's money in goods and services still, but it's through digital.
Right. So, bro, one of the biggest things I educate people on with the digital is just understanding, like, bro, if they really saw the statistics of how money moved, they would know, like, the money you're getting at the brick and mortar ain't hitting on nothing. And not in I ain't saying a disrespectful way.
I'm with you.
But I'm saying, like, you could wake up and make the bag before you open up the brick and mortar, and you'll sleep if you play the internet proper. And for me, I'm big on convenience. And I'm a real private person. Like, I want to be in the house and make my money.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And then, I mean, Brian, a lot of statistics alone, I think, would change. Like, I can't remember the youngin' name on YouTube, but he making like $23 million a year, and he just opened toys. Like, how you not look at the AU and be motivated like, damn, he getting 23?
Exactly.
You know, I can at least get 23 grand on the internet. Oh, sorry about that.
No, you good.
But yeah, bro, I know for me, just in terms of the opportunity and helping them understand it is, that's what I say, bro. Just walking in your light and functioning with your results to change a lot of perspectives. Because I know a lot of the family who worked with me, and I didn't believe it until they seen it, and they was just like, oh, it's really real. And now they coming forward with more ideas of what they want to do and how they can expand. But for me, bro, brick and mortar, it's still useful. Mm-hmm. I love that I'm able to walk inside certain places and still shop, but it's, to me, that world is coming so tight with the paper because so much money is now in it, and COVID just revved the internet money up even more. That like it's, to me, it would take too much energy to make what you can make in a third of the time on the internet.
I'm with you on that. Family perspective, man. The kids, the wife. What roles do they play in keeping Derrick sane and motivated and positive?
Bro, that's a good question. But really, my children I got 5 daughters and 1 son. So like, I wake up with more than enough love on a daily basis.
I feel you.
Even the annoying love, bro. I get out of bed and I almost step on one. One was in my back, one on my couch, one on my chase, one between them. So number one, bro, my mood is typically always lighthearted because I'm around some wild children. Exactly. And I allow them to practice free will. So the stuff that they think of and come out their mouth be totally next level. But in terms of my lady, bro, she just be big on me about self-care. Yeah. Because I know with a lot of men, especially women too, but when you take on that leadership role, you tend to neglect everything about yourself. Just to suit everyone around you. And I'm bad at that. So her just being on me by being intentional about taking care. Bro, it be small stuff like, you ain't put no oil on your elbows. Your knees. You out here buying people cars and houses, but you don't take time to lotion your knees. And I'm like, damn. You right, I'm tripping. So, bro, she big about me being intentional on that, and two, she helps me to communicate at a level that I typically wouldn't or I never have. Yeah. A lot of times as men, we talk to, you keep this bravado approach, don't express yourself, you bottle it, figure it out internally. But she big on me speaking my thoughts, expressing myself. So that's helped me. I mean, that even helped me in business to articulate better. Yeah. And I'm more comfortable with sharing things with my following or the people that's in my classes or courses because I got somebody rocking with me in my transparent state, not me having to present what people want me to be. I could just, genuinely be myself, and I got somebody who like, I'm rocking with you regardless of how you lay it out.
What is it like for you in these classes, man, teaching these folks the game? Are people grasping the game, or are they just trying to look behind the curtain to see what the hell's going on?
Really both. Okay. Right on, like, I meet people every class and course I do who literally spend all that money just to screenshot the Zoom and be like, post it to the ground, building with the bro. I'm like, man, we ain't even talking class. You ain't even ask me one question. But no, bro, we do now we do got some people in there. No, bro, they really do show it just to hang out and be like, yeah, I was listening to bro earlier. Did you apply it? Nah, but I was listening. So, but we do have people who really do apply it, who really go kill the game and they double back with, hella testimonials, hella results, which is what I like. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. My current academy got like 6,200 students right now. My God. Probably. Just being real, probably 500 of them really engaged and really, because we do assessments and all, so we can see the work and everything. Probably 500 of them engaged.
Well, see, I'm not going to get mad at you about that because, see, I teach over there at Clark Atlanta, and I have a bunch of students, too. So those odds are about right. You got some students that come in there, they done paid for a doggone education. Right. Some of them coming in there to network, have a part, and have to just be a part. Right. And you got some folks that's coming in there to get that bag. Right. And you know the ones that's coming to get the bag because they leave out of there and go get the doggone bag. Exactly. Talk about taking advantage of that information because it's useless unless you apply it. And what is one of the main pieces of information that you think that everybody needs to apply to start themselves on a trajectory to get into the M?
I got you. Bro, five things I would tell them to work on mastering. Well, not even work on mastering, but just to think about. Self-love. Because if I know my worth, the world or society can't dictate it for me. Come on. I'm going to demand what I want, and I'm getting what I want, or I'm going to stand here until I get it. Self-preservation. I try to tell people all the time, like, nobody going to do for you or take care of you as you would. Especially the people that's solely relying on these disenfranchised entities, they definitely ain't going to take care of you. Self-education. question everything. You know, get an that's what unlearn and relearn is about, getting an individual perspective on the world around us. Because most of us, this be mind blowing, but people function in a state of traditionalism, but expect different results. No, you're gonna die like your grandma, granddaddy did, uncle, aunt, mama. Like all y'all gonna go out or live this existence in a similar way. Self-love. I said self-love right. Self-love, self-preservation, self-education, self-awareness. That's a huge one. People, to be self-aware to me helps people identify their purpose and their mission. Mm-hmm. Like it be people right now that's just angry but don't know who to shoot at in terms of a target. And that, to me, that's because they're not aware of themselves nor their surroundings. So you understand it's a systematical game going on. That's why your whole generation done struggled. But you still don't even know what role you play or identify your strengths and weaknesses or what you can do to get y'all out of that. That's really for the people who just wake up every day mad at the world. You know why you mad, but you don't know what to do or where to start. Self-awareness is a must because it's going to help you identify what you came to the game for and what you can add to it to really push your people forward. But, I would say I would tell anybody, start with those top 4, for sure.
When the money started coming in, Derrick, was it hard for you to spend it or were you trying to hoard it all? And I'm talking about on yourself. And see, you can spend it on the kids and the wife and everything else, but I'm talking about you.
All right, bro. So at first it was. But Chelsea has helped me with that too, with just understanding to treat myself. Because I treat everybody like I buy people, well, not people, but parents, houses, cars, hiring relatives. Excuse me. Absolutely everything. And just totally overlook myself. So this is the thing, right? It is hard to spend it. Yeah. To me, it is hard because I don't live like a super luxurious lifestyle. The things that are very expensive in my life, I pay cash on. So it's no bills. It's just like my bills a month probably like $4,000. But now my payroll like $55,000. That's a business expense. So I ain't gonna count that. But my personal life, like $4,000 to pay my light bill, phones, lights at these different houses, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I don't spend. I put it like this. I don't spend many times. Yeah. But when I do spend, I spend a lot. That's a better say, right? So, like, my kids will get something 4 times a week. Yeah. I go the whole month. But then I like just last week. It's about to go down. I went and got the 41 millimeter and he was like 60 and I was like, all right, cool. That's cold. I be chilling, but when I do treat myself, it's a nice, like, my lady be saying that shit, like, it's hard to surprise you because all your type of surprises are expensive ones.
Did the money change you and the people around you when it came in? And how did you deal with those changes if they happened?
So one thing I believe is that every new level of life, you're going to have to purge. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them people either got purged or they purged themselves out of my life, period. Because I think a lot of times money don't change the individual with the money. It changes the people around the individual. Yeah. So that's when people go to develop a sense of entitlements. That's when people be having emergencies they never share with you. But it's just like, man, you should have just called me that day and asked me, did I need 10 grand? And I would have told him, like, what? That's when like, bro. The money did change a lot of people around me because it's unfortunate, but it sours relationships with people you was close to because they have a sense of entitlement. And then it brings about relationships with people you aren't close to who are looking at you for the come up or trying to figure out how they can maneuver and finesse something. So I don't think it necessarily changed me. If anything, it just made me more private. It made me want to be more secluded, but I still do the same stuff I used to do. But the people around me, not so much. I be hearing all type of interesting stuff about what I got, what's in my house, all type of stuff.
My God. What was that number that blew your mind and made you feel like you made it?
That's a good one. What was that number? In 2020, in 2020, I hit him for like it wasn't 2020, it's 2019. Yeah. I hit him for like $400,000 in a month. That was the first time that I was like, wow. Mm-hmm. But then literally that's when I hit Forbes in 2020 because we started averaging 1.5 million a month. I ain't gonna lie, bro. When I did that, the biggest I ever did was 1.625 in a month. And at that point I was just like, we done cracked the code. We done figured something out. And we still independent. We ain't even joined forces on nothing. And I was like, man, so I would say the first one was when I hit for the 400 in a month, and then literally within a year, I hit for the 1.6, and I was like, yeah.
What was it that kept you independent the whole time?
Well, bro, one, I did business with Amazon when I first got into writing, which was 2016. And I remember getting royalty checks where they was eating like 40 to 50% of the proceeds. I get the other 40 or 50, and then I had to pay $7 to ship the book. And I started realizing at that point, like, damn, I'm really adding free marketing to their name every time I tell somebody buy my book on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I'm a free mascot at that. And then number two, they getting like, you get more of my story than I did, and I'm the one who had to go through it to even generate the story to begin with.
Yeah.
And then, bro, like, just my business idols. So Jay, Nip being number one, but Jay, Suge Knight, these are the people I looked up to. So just studying them, that just automatically put me in the mindset of like, just figure it out on your own. Mm-hmm. And if you ever do team up to figure, that's cool too. But just make sure you got enough leverage to where you still gonna come out on top.
Exactly. How do you deal with the people from the outside that don't understand exactly what the hell you got going on, so they just gonna throw stones at it?
I don't, bro. Mm-hmm. That's the best way I deal with. Is I don't. Like, I get every day on social media like, what degrees do you have? What certifications are you never gonna get a job nowhere? And I'm like, bro, you gotta be new to the page. I tell y'all every day, my children ain't gonna work for their oppressor, so I ain't finna work for them.
Exactly.
So, but no, bro, I deal with it every day, and bro, I don't even knock them. What I realize is most of them are in a state of confusion because everything that their traditionalism told them to do to be successful comes in question when they look at me. Mm-hmm. I got 6 children with 3 mamas. I got locks. I got 42 facial tattoos. All this jewelry on. Well, I ain't got none on today, but all this jewelry on. We see the guns. You see the children. So I know, like, your brain just scrambled right now. Like, wait, this is not what my mom said you're supposed to do when you grow up to be successful. So I don't even be mad at them because I really understand, like, it's really, they having a moment right now.
Yeah. How do you feel being able to do it your way, though, man? Because so often a lot of people don't get an opportunity to do it their way.
Bro, that's the best feeling in the world. To just knowing, like, I could get it today and be myself and get paid. I'm going to say whatever I feel like saying or not say it if I choose not to. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So, no, bro, I love being able to create it, to have the creative control. I love being able to move on my terms. I love being able to incorporate the real me. Like, I collect guns. I collect gold. I chill in the house with my children all the time. So I present that narrative. Or even like the tattoos. Because a part of me not being me would be people would appreciate me more or be more, how to say it? Despite how I look, I still catch their ear. Yeah. Because I am who I say I am. Yeah. The things in which I show them, I could back up with numbers, receipts, and results. So I love it, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that's one of the funnest parts. Just knowing like when I walk in this room, I already know everybody gonna be like, what the hell is that? But as soon as I go to articulate, they're gonna be like, oh, okay. I forgot the tattoos. People say all the time, like, man, I don't even see your tattoos no more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is it that you love the most about your business? And then also, I need you to get into these products, man. What are the products that are flying off these damn shelves?
I got you. Shoot. What I love about my business the most, bro, is I get a real excitement seeing people like win with my information.
Come on now.
Because I tell people all the time, like, once you get to a certain amount of money, you begin to realize that, well, number one, you should want to take care of yourself as an adult, like handle your business. But number two, that's almost a no-brainer. So to me, you really like define your purpose based on the people that you took care of outside of you. Mm-hmm. So to me, bro, that's major. Like, I got 34 people on my payroll at this point. Like, that's major to me. Or even like the developers on my video game. They some young dudes from Spain. Never met them a day in my life. We talked on Zoom, but that was it. But just being able to change so many lives around me has been the most fun part about it. And what was part 2 of the question? What you said, the favorite thing?
The favorite thing, the products.
All right, bro. So I should have brought some in. They in the truck or in the van, but we launched Grace Botics. That's my artificial intelligence company. I got my own curriculums, best-selling author with multiple books. Well, no, one book, but that book got multiple variations. In-home banking board game. That was me basically jumping in the industry and finding a fun and creative way that our culture would want to learn about financial literacy. I got a video game coming this fall. What else I got going on? I got a lot going on. Me and the wife, we partnered up. She has custom corsets. Mm-hmm. So and tights. So like it's a gun holster.
Oh,
you know,
that's
hard.
So
the ladies could look amazing.
Hard.
Yeah, they could look amazing. They could work out whatever they want to do. They could literally have a whole little lingerie setup, but still be strapped. Yeah. I don't know why you would want to be strapped. You finna have that type of fun, but you just never know. So I mean,
going for a jog, you might have to whip that thing out.
Oh yeah, not for a jog for sure.
Shoot.
For sure. But yeah, bro, and Grace Essentials, that's another company that's launching. Yeah, it launched already, but more products coming in this month. But just a high-end luxury brand. So two main things we're gonna carry there that I noticed missing in the pandemic. We're gonna have our own toilet tissue and our own alkaline water. So that's why I say, bro, when I identify a weakness in the system or the game, I get back with the team, hit my project manager, we hit China, and we start whipping it up to make sure whenever we double back, we got you covered.
The home banking, man, that game. Break that game down, and what are some of the principles that folks is picking up in there?
Bro, one of the biggest principles people pick up, and it's not to the end, and I know somebody gonna watch this and be like, oh, I get it. At the end, how you win the game is whoever collects 7 intellectual properties. Because to me, intellectual property, like we said with content, gonna supersede everything, y'all. Like, if you got anything in your brain that's of value, you can get paid no matter where you at on the planet. Get to a phone or iPhone, you good to go. I mean, a phone or computer, you good to go. But the key is this: whoever gets 7 intellectual properties, collectively, they win the game. Or you can give away your intellectual property, allow somebody else to buy it that's in a better position than you, and then they can win it. So if you need 7, you got 3 and he got 6, you could sell him 1 and he win. People kept going into the board game with a competitive mind state, thinking about Monopoly or stuff like that. And I'm like, nah, y'all listening to what I'm saying on the board. I'm telling y'all the only way us as a culture going to advance is through collective economics. So really, when one win, I made it so hard that nobody really gonna get 7. Anybody that think you're gonna get 7 playing the game, like we didn't tell you this. We purposely set it up so you can't get 7. You gotta collaborate with whoever else you playing with. Y'all come to a head and y'all beat the system. So basically, like, it's 6 players versus the system.
My God,
which is the way our culture functions. Like, another thing that's funny, people be like, when I roll. What Monopoly? Oh, so Monopoly, when you go past start, you get like 500. So people be asking me like, do I get money when I go past start? And I'm like, shit, do our culture typically get inheritances when we born? And they like, no. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I wasn't playing with the game. I really made it as real life as possible. So it got a lot of principles in there. It got differentiations of our culture being sentenced in court versus other cultures. It's a slew of information there. Financial literacy, gun education, it's a lot.
What was the first product that you started off with selling?
First product I ever sold would, well, when I got into literature, would be my books.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my first book in 2015.
Now, outside of the intellectual property, what were you selling before then?
That was retail. So I was selling my own clothing, the Millie Bounce I was telling you about on YouTube. And then I had a plug with Foot Action and Nike. And she was holding me down on shoes. Yeah. And I basically bundled them, made the person pre-order the shoe. Get them a free shirt, but I just marked it up $30 to compensate for the shirt. But that's what I was moving before
exactly. Then. Lastly, Derrick, is there anything that you want to get off your chest? And how can these folks contact you to get down with the movement?
I got you. Yeah, I just want to remind everybody, despite whatever fairy tale you want to make up in your head, the country we live in is built off violence and entrepreneurship. They respond to the loss of life, and they respond to the loss of funds. So let's forget the loss of life part. I urge everybody who watching this to make sure you and your family got an LLC that y'all can stand by. It's crazy to me, bro. Like, this country is a corporation, and people actually expect to thrive here but not function within the lineage of how corporations function. That's number one. And number two, I would just tell everybody, like, if you watching this on a computer or a smartphone, those are 2 forms of a computer. There's no reason why you shouldn't be getting no bread on the internet. There's no reason why you shouldn't be practicing inclusion and your whole family getting paper on the internet. Like, Derrick, I've been working on an action figure for a minute, and then I got a new app I'm rolling out with them. But I would be a fool to be as big as I am and not allow them to leverage my interests as well and start getting their own separate bags across from mine.
Facts.
And the biggest thing with family business, y'all, is just we get so caught up in that head honcho position that we forget to pour into the people around us so we can have a team full of head honchos. I don't want to be LeBron for my family. I want my daughter to be LeBron, my son, Chelsea, everybody. So I'm not going to be that daddy at 50 that's like, man, if I knew now if I knew back then what I knew now. No, I'm up. I'm active every day trying to know as much as I can, pour it into my children simultaneously, and we kill the game collectively.
Answer me this, though, Derrick, because you see things in your kids and you try to pour it into them. How do you get them to understand that they need to understand what dad is giving them and that you're trying to set them light years ahead of where you was at their age?
So the biggest thing, like, one, I got a reward system.
Okay.
So I'm typically going to always apply them with, well, not even apply them, but give them something for putting in.
Exactly.
Like, I want them to adopt that mentality we have as adults. Like, adults don't mind interning, but for the most part, we're not trying to intern for life. Exactly. We want something back for what we pouring in.
Facts.
So I treat my children as equals. Excuse me, like Derrick literally, she be collecting hundreds just because I be lazy and like, babe, if you go to the kitchen for me, and I be like, give $50. But I want her to understand, like, all right, cool. So I'm worth this. I'm valued at that. So if somebody wants me to take away from what I'm personally into, they should compensate me in some form, whether it be money, resources, whatever. So that's one way I teach them. And then the biggest one, bro, is I function through reality and experience. So I'm that daddy that just be like, you see how your uncle be looking when he come around here? And they be like, yeah. And I be like, you gonna look just like his ass if you don't get your life together. Feel me? So that's how I function, bro. Like we have real conversations. We're very blunt. We very vocal. So I just get in real life examples.
And I got to throw one more question in here. When you speak of that internet money, can you just give me a quick hustle that somebody could do and explain to them how the marketing will play a part in making that hustle successful?
I got you. I'm actually gonna read directly from this curriculum. I got it on my phone.
Bet.
This the and y'all too, for what I'm about to read to y'all, this the junior pandemic pack. This ain't even the one for the grown people. This the game we giving the babies on how they can get their own bag.
Okay.
And not have to sit around waiting on mama and daddy to pour into them. Hold on 1 second, bro.
Take your time. Take your time.
And this one's so easy. Babies could do this, like literally, y'all could do this today. Is this the one? No, hold on 1 second, bro. I'm almost to it.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, y'all. So anybody that's watching this, have y'all ever heard of Fiverr? You ever heard of Fiverr, bro?
Yeah.
All right, so Fiverr is where y'all can get a lot of work done, graphics, videos, all type of stuff, right? So if you're a youngin' or an adult, you can do this now. You could be a Fiverr middleman. Check this out. Fiverr is one of the go-to places all new businesses need to get familiar with. It's a website that has thousands of freelancers on there selling all kinds of services for almost anyone in the world. It will be referenced in this book plenty of times, so make sure you get familiar with it. Fiverr, y'all, anybody who watching. Fiverr has anything from logo creation to t-shirt and product design to someone singing and dancing a tune of your choice. It is a world within itself. It's cheap, and in many cases, you get your product back fast. So now you probably wondering how you gonna make money. So check this out. The other day I was on the call with the Unlearn and Relearn Academy. That's the children academy we have, by the way. It was about 12 students sharing their need for a logo. I went on Fiverr.com, walked them through the process for each of them to use the bar to find a freelance designer. As soon as I was done, I asked, how long did it take me to order a logo? They answered 10 minutes. So again, y'all, the key is it took them 10 minutes to get a logo, right? Now this is how you make a bag. If it only take 10 minutes and it costs $10 to get a logo, why aren't the person that's watching this video right now, you set up a landing page on social media, tell people you do logos. All you would have to do is make a flyer saying you create logos and that they cost $25. You literally go on Fiverr, find a $10 freelancer and get it made. That means your profit is anywhere from $10 to $15 for 20 minutes of work. That's called simply playing the middleman. Y'all,
free game.
You can literally go download the Fiverr app. Your homeboy got a brand, music, whatever. Text him right now and be like, bro, you know I could do your logos. You know, I'm bro. Don't outsource, spend money with the bro. He gonna say, cool. They gonna be 30 a piece. You on Fiverr flipping them at only 10. You flipping the dub every time. You haven't left your house. You need like a little bit of Wi-Fi. You ain't gotta go no mailbox, you ain't open no computer, no nothing, no Photoshop, just middleman. But no, bro, I got ideas for days on how people could literally just sit at their crib and outsource and make money.
I love it, and I definitely understand that, man. That was a beautiful thing right there, and thank you for sharing it with the audience as well.
No problem.
Derrick, appreciate you coming through this thing.
I appreciate you.
Wish you nothing but the best and much success. Be High Radio, shout it. Holla at y'all in a minute, man. We go.